Hello, everyone, and welcome. We will start in about 1 minute. We appreciate you joining us today. Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Techcyte webinar series, Pioneers in Digital Pathology. I'm Jacob Hicks, and I'm delighted to be with you all today, and especially with Dr. Juan Santa from CorePlus, Puerto Rico. We'll get to know Dr. Santa and his lab here shortly. We appreciate your expressed interest in registering today and invite you to ask your questions at any time during the chat, and we'll save those for the Q&A at the end. Please feel free to enter those in at any time as your mind is prompted. We know several of you have expressed interest in this subject today, so we'll help you get to know a little bit about Techcyte, certainly plenty about CorePlus, and the current workflow across the industry and at CorePlus for cervical cytology cancer screening, what it might be like to transition to digital reviews and digital sign-outs for cervical cytology. Dr. Santa will also share the study that they did at their lab, its results, and their proposed new workflow, and we'll definitely provide some time for your questions and any responses from Dr. Santa there at the end. So first, just a bit about Techcyte. We've been around about a decade. Techcyte is a software company. We have built AI and workflow software that is deployed in environmental labs, veterinary labs and clinics, and certainly human or medical labs and clinics. And we were originally a technology transfer out of the University of Utah and ARUP laboratories. We have grown big and fast, and it's been cool to build tech and software that helps labs be more efficient, more accurate, and recognizing that the workflow of a lab is critical. And as we have built our solutions, we have listened to the voice of labs like yours across the globe to make sure we built an effective tool. We are the software platform for AI and workflow, and we ingest images from various scanners, depending on the application type, various volume scanners as well. And those images come to the Techcyte cloud and are analyzed by Techcyte and presented in a cloud-based web browser for users to review. The Techcyte platform is a lot more than just the AI, though. We want to make clear that probably 20 to 30% of the value is the strong AI algorithm. The remaining is the power of the workflow, helping a lab be more efficient, more accurate, everything from sample prep to getting a good image to our cloud-based platform, to a regulated, scalable, secure environment, allowing labs to manage their data and their images, continue to report in their LIS using Techcyte's open API. So we've thought about each of those as we have built our platform to help labs be more efficient. Techcyte's mission in that is to be the world's leading digital diagnostics platform for clinical pathology, so liquid, smearable, cellular sample types, and for infectious disease. And we are delighted that you joined us today in this third episode of our Pioneers in Digital Pathology series, where today we'll get to learn more from Dr. Santa and his team at CorePlus, who are definitely pioneers in digital pathology. Dr. Santa.
Well, hi, Jacob. Thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure to spend some time with you and everyone that joined. So thank you. So a little bit about CorePlus and about myself. So I'm a practicing pathologist. I did my training at the University of Puerto Rico. I've been in practice for 15 years now. And I've been with CorePlus all my career. And I'm happy to say that us as an organization, we very much care about putting patients first and servicing our patients the best way we can. We are located in Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, and our lab has been in practice for almost 30 years. We have two CLIA certified labs in the island, and as a group, there's 6 board certified pathologists that working together. Among them is our director of cytopathology, Dr. Rivera, who you're gonna hear from something from her towards the end of the presentation. And we also have a group of certified cytotechnologists in our group that help us with the workloads for all of our cytology samples. Something particular about us is we have an IT affiliate company called Syndio that they are responsible for developing all the technologies, our information systems, and they were responsible for building the ecosystem that hosts everything that is digital pathology and AI oriented. And they provide all the support for that, along with integrations and things of that nature. So we, as a lab, we have been fully digital for histology for, it's gonna be almost 4 years now, next month. We did a full validation for whole slide imaging for primary diagnosis. And right now, all of our pathologists are signing out cases from the lab digitally and also remotely, some of them working from home using these systems and the networks. One cool thing I have to say about the success that we've had with digital pathology is that being a private lab, we were able to reach out to the University of Puerto Rico to be able to provide information and exposure and experience to pathology residents on the island, as well as cytotechnologies in training. So they rotate through the lab, and we very much enjoy having them and teaching them about all these new technologies that are transforming our practice. After we validated digital pathology, we were able to implement several AI systems, both for breast and prostate biopsy cases that we received in the lab. And we've been very successful at minimizing false negative reports, and I think we've been very successful at deploying such solutions in the lab.
Dr. Santa, it's amazing that you have been doing primary diagnosis and AI for several years now in histology. Would you mind sharing how you started to apply digital and AI in other areas of the lab? This is amazing.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Definitely. With such success and experience, we want to bring digital pathology to everything that we are doing in the lab. So our goal is to be 100% digital throughout all the different specimen types. So that's why we are venturing into cytology, and that's what I'm about to show you. So talking about cervical cytology in particular, we want to tackle this field and the challenges that come along with it, to be able to provide such technologies and solutions, and that way we could be more accurate with our diagnosis, as we've seen with the histology part. And just to frame it in why are we doing this? So I'm sure that, like in most places in the world, well, in Puerto Rico, the incidence of cervical cancer has been increasing, and there has been a call for action from the WHO to eliminate cervical cancer. And we, as providers of pathology services, we want to be part of that movement, and we feel that call for action. So we we want to bring this technology. So for the part that we can manage, we can improve not only the prevention but the diagnosis part, and patients can have early diagnosis, accurate diagnosis. So this is the main reason why we're doing this, because of the patients. Just to frame it, where we are right now, just like most labs, we receive our cervical cytology samples. We produce the slides. The slides are first screened. We have a group of screeners, like I talked to you about, that are evaluating the samples every day, and putting out reports for the negative cases. Some of the cases that go through our QA program, as well as the abnormal cases, go to a reviewer, which she revises some of those diagnoses, and finally they move on to the pathologist for a final report. So this is like most labs work right now, and we want to be able to see if we can implement solutions along this workflow to be more efficient and more accurate. And we are all well aware that cervical cytology is covered by a very robust QA program that is highly regulated, and that takes into consideration all phases of testing. But I want to focus particularly on that regulatory 10% review of the negative cases that we have to do, because that's the main reason, the main focus that we want to tackle, because a lot of us know that this method is not necessarily the most accurate and productive at minimizing false negative cases. So we want to propose a solution or a method to be more accurate with and possibly substitute this 10% with something more robust. Obviously, in order to leverage the AI solutions, we have to first take into consideration everything at digitizing the cytology samples. And we all know that it's comes with its challenges. This I took from a publication from 2011, so quite a few years ago. And some of these challenges are still lingering, but at some we have been able to tackle with newer technologies that help us with focusing, that help us with scanning at different levels. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that. So in our lab, we have scanners that have the capability not only doing single layer scanning, but we can use the technology for C-stacking and extended focus, which means that even though it's scanned at different levels, all the focus levels are compressed into one image. But one interesting thing that we've been able to test out is a feature that our scanners have the capability of doing water immersion, and leverage the fact that water has a better refractive index than air, and in order for it to provide a higher resolution of the images, and that's done automatically by the scanners. So, yeah.
Dr. Santa, you mentioned that, of course, to get to the use of AI, you needed to digitize. And so it's impressive that CorePlus has worked through those challenges around getting a good scanned image. And I know you've worked with some great scanner partners that way. Tell us, did you plan to just dabble with the AI initially, or were you going to just do a full-blown study? What was your thinking as you transitioned from, all right, we've got digitized images, what do we do next? I'd love to hear the thought process. I would think some labs listening in are always mulling over, do we transition to digital? And I'd love to hear where your head was.
Yeah, like I said, our goal from the start was we wanted to be 100% digital, both for histology and cytology. And our journey really began with AI in mind, and this was just part of the process that we needed to go through in order to bring this AI solutions. But obviously, we wanted to test the technology out, and we had the idea of performing a study that would allow us to better understand how we can manage and implement this technology, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So on the study, this is just to show you a little description of the cases that we use for the study. So we went into our archives and pulled 1,500 gene cytology cases, cervical cytology samples that included both ThinPrep and SurePath. And we wanted to, so the study population would represent more or less the same that we see every day coming through the lab. And we designed the study. So after pulling the slides from the archive, we were going to scan them with both modalities that I talked to you before, both the traditional scanning and water immersion scans. So we ended up with 3,000 scans and cases to evaluate. And we run those images through a conversion pipeline and finally uploading everything to Techcyte. Then our cytopathologist was able to log into the Techcyte platform and evaluate all those cases in both modalities. And what we did is when that was that part was done, we compared that to the original diagnosis that was made on the microscope, and where there were discrepancies, we made sure to come up with the actual ground truth for the diagnosis on those cases, and we collected all of that information to be able to be analyzed. This is just to show you that, you know, the scanning profiles that we use for the traditional scanning. We use 40x objectives with 40x magnification, and those were scanned at 3 C-stacks, 3 layers. And the water immersion profile consisted of 40x objective and 40x magnification as well, but those were scanned with only a single layer. We wanted to see if the better resolution of the images would help us be as accurate or better, and we can minimize the scanning time by just doing a single layer instead of 3 C-stacks. Then into the Techcyte platform, our cytopathologists use the platform for all the diagnoses, and as part of the results, we were happy because she was able to finish all cases using Techcyte in about 2 minutes. And we all know that, you know, without Techcyte, which means in the microscope, the fastest anyone can screen a case is about 5 minutes. So significant amount of time was saved by using the platform. So we were being more efficient, but we wanted to make sure that we were accurate as well. And this is just a summary of the performance characteristics of how using the Techcyte platform, we were able to compare these characteristics from dry scanning and versus the water immersion scans. And you can see that after adjudication, the water immersion did better than the traditional scanning, but also after adjudication of the discrepancies, we also saw improvement there, and we were able to acquire very good performance with the water immersion actually improving on accuracy and all the other characteristics. And this is just to show the distribution among the different diagnostic groups. And you can see along this diagonal very much it was congruent results. And the ones that were more discrepant were in the Nilm and Ascus area, which we kind of expected, because that's also expected in the microscope. But there was nothing really out of the ordinary here. No cases that were significantly missed by using the Techcyte platform. So again, very accurate. And so after the study, what we are proposing basically is that we want to implement the Techcyte solution into a routine workflow, but as a start, after producing the slides and scanning them, we're still going to give those slides to our screeners, but they are not going to be signing out any cases. So every case, all negative and all abnormal cases, are going to go to the reviewer, and she's going to be using the Techcyte platform, not the microscope, and to review all of those cases. So all of the negative cases are going to get rescreened, so achieving 100% QC. So that's one of the goals that we have after the study. So she'll be the reviewer. The reviewer is a senior cytotechnologist in our lab, and she'll be able to close all of the negatives and QC everything, and then the abnormals are going to go to our cytopathologists, who can also use the Techcyte platform to sign out those cases. And like I mentioned at the beginning, so this is Dr. Rivera, who's our director of cytopathology. And after using the system, this is what she had to say. She really enjoyed analyzing the cases on the Techcyte platform. It was very fun, exciting, and she felt satisfied to contribute towards the evolving field in her favorite pathology subspecialty. But I sense a little bias there, obviously. But yes, I mean, our field is being transformed, is evolving, and we're just happy to be a part of that evolution.
Dr. Santa, thanks for summarizing so well. We know in a compressed period of time about what you did. It's hard to do it justice within a half-hour time window. Really, really cool. We were, of course, delighted at Techcyte about the results of your study, and we're excited about helping you to implement with that 100% QC workflow that you've proposed. We do have a few questions, and we have committed in this webinar series to get everybody in and out within a half hour. So, Dr. Santa, let's just jump in on a couple of these questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
First one, it looks like Scott asked, what were initial hurdles you encountered in digitizing cytology? Any initial obstacles?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, obviously the three-dimensionality of the samples and distribution of cells in a slide is not the same as in histology. So there are some challenges there to get everything in focus, because just trying to understand what a good, how many layers are needed to capture most of the sample and not miss cells that would be important for the diagnosis. So that is definitely a challenge. Just navigating through a slide, screening, it's also a challenge, but nothing that can't be overcome. So.
Thank you. Dayuna asked, and I'll take this one, Dr. Santa, are you seeking FDA approval for the technology? So Techcyte's platform is CE-IVD marked in Europe and research use only in the United States. We are on a regulatory path for our algorithm and platform in this particular application. So yes, we're moving down that path. Of course, labs that are seeking to do their own laboratory developed test under direction of the medical director are welcome to do those things. But yes, we are on a path with Q subs and an FDA pathway. Thank you. Another question, Dave asks, what surprised you, if anything, about the study results, Dr. Santa?
Well, surprising, definitely the efficiency, the amount of time it takes to, and the ease with how the Techcyte platform presents the cells of interest and how you navigate through the user interface. We were happy to see that worked out great, and to be able to analyze properly with high accuracy those cases in that amount of time. I think one of the biggest issues that we are having here in the United States and around the world really is the lack of cytotechnologists and pathologists. So these technologies are going to help us provide accurate and fast diagnoses to those patients that need it, and we can manage that lack of human resource that we're seeing today.
You're speaking to a core challenge this whole industry is facing, of course, and that ties in with Jody's question. She asked, Dr. Santa, do you think this will eliminate the need for cytologists in the future?
Not at all, because what I believe these technologies, every once in a while technologies come along, and they're tools for us to do a better job at providing care for our patients. It's just a matter of us adapting and acquiring new skills. So cytologists as well as pathologists, we have to learn about this because it's going to be part of routine pathology. So I'm hoping one day we don't have to refer to it as digital pathology anymore, and we can just talk about pathology and everyone knows that it's going to be digital. But just as other technologies have come along the way, take for example the microscope. It's not the same. It's been transformed along the years with newer technologies as they come along, and there's always the need for the human interaction with technology to be able to provide good care for patients. So I don't think it's going to take away anyone's job.
Hannah asked, and I'll take this one, Dr. Santa, have you considered integration of diagnostic data summation with robotic surgery to create more accurate sites of removal and so forth? Great question. So our platform is just in its early stages, right? We see lots of opportunities to apply our Techcyte AI platform for workflow and AI. Our collaborator for our medical applications is Mayo Clinic. So Mayo and Techcyte have a roadmap around samples and tests that we will co-develop. And so, Hannah, we'd be happy to dive in deeper around that particular application with you if you wanted to schedule some time. We are always looking at the next use cases because our tech stack is capable of iterating and creating workflow and algorithms across lots and lots of sample types. So we're excited. The opportunity over the next several decades is huge. Raylene asked, Dr. Santa, you and your team use this, so I'll let you take this one. Does this platform image the entire slide to show the cytotech, or does it just take the viewer to certain fields?
Yes, that's a very good question, and so Techcyte ingests the whole slide image, so the entire slide is scanned and uploaded to Techcyte, and the cytotechnologists can see a gallery of certain fields, but at the same time, you can navigate through the whole slide image. Even you can, click on one cell of interest, and then it'll bring you to that cell and surrounding areas on that whole slide image. So it's very dynamic what you can do with the system.
And Raylene and anyone on the call, we'd be happy to show you a demo of the actual software. You didn't see that in the webinar today, but you heard Dr. Santa's team present results around them having used the software. Alberto asked, how much does the cost per slide increase with the use of this software? So this really is a return on investment. It's a good business case for the lab. You saw the efficiency gains, right? In this particular study, manual microscopic review went from about 5 minutes down to just under 2 minutes. And so when you think about the labor time saved, the efficiency gains, the cost per slide model from Techcyte, it really pencils pretty quickly when you think about the investment of a scanner and then the charge per scan. So Alberto and team, we'd be happy to dive in on a demo around your particular volume and use case. But the return on investment for this digital pathology investment is definitely there. We are at time. I believe there were some additional questions we didn't get to, but we promise we'll privately follow up with you, those who have reached out. A huge thanks and gratitude to Dr. Santa and the CorePlus team. It's wonderful to hear from you today, and to all of you attendees today. Any final thoughts, Dr. Santa?
No, I just want to thank you for hosting me, and I'm hoping that we bring digital solutions to every lab in the world, because patients need it.
Well said. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, everyone. Bye.